in the populous vote-rich Mount Kenya region that I saw fit how things change in politics so quickly. To quickly finish some people. The truth is that in politics, vindu vichenjanga tena very quickly. And in many ways, it is just history repeating itself again and again and again. But first, before we go into that, please allow me to give you a heads up about other super fascinating developments. Everybody is talking about Senator Edwin Sifuna and the way he dismantled and his gang. And most Kenyans are very pleased that this is one Azimio strategy and ODM strategy, which I believe is very deliberate, that William Samoei Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza people have not yet been able to get an answer to. What am I talking about? Analyzing with facts, showing the facts, which is a far cry from our politics all along, where politicians are known to shoot quickly from their mouths, without any facts to support what they're saying. Put simply, this strategy is all about show the facts on the ground. Tell people what is happening. Produce a list of the people handling an area that is very key. Disaster strong argument. Case closed. Game shot. The point got across. Well done, Senator Sifuna. There is something else super fascinating that unfolded in a Nairobi suburb known as Runda. Now, people are saying many different things about the current floods ravaging through the country called Kenya. Others, like President Ruto, are saying this is normal. This is happening all over the world, and is using the opportunity to sell the climate change agenda. But a few of us are saying there is a higher power involved. Yes, most of Runda is okay, especially the older Runda. But the newer Runda, Kenyans will remember the controversy. I think about 10 years ago. That part of Runda hived off grabbed Karura forest land has been reclaimed by nature. Now, knowing the way rich people behave, hiyo imeenda. Because what will happen, even after the floods subside, those people are not going to live there anymore. Oh yes. And trust me, the names in this part of Nairobi are fish involved in this. And so these guys beat the system, property, at throwaway prices. And by throwaway, I mean throwaway prices. And this could trigger crazy things in the entire real estate industry, especially around the Nairobi area. Looking forward, that is what I see. Open your eyes and look. Don't be too quick to speak with your opinions. Just be quiet for a minute and observe what is happening in Kenya. Something else very interesting and instructive. Yesterday, and I was carefully observing the reaction of the public as he addressed them. Now, I don't know about you, but I really fear humans who respond with silence, because you don't know what they thought, what they feel. But when they are quiet, well, you need to be super careful. And not only that, I observed a very curious incident in the crowd. At one point, Ruto said something, and a woman in the crowd lifted up her hands and started cheering. And the man standing right next to her, I don't know what relationship that woman has with that man, but she looked a little embarrassed, and she stopped cheering. And the others, most of who were cheering at every excuse, They were happy, their property and their houses were swept away. Some of them, they are less concerned about the people who are silent. And I was wondering, what are they thinking? What is their opinion? Because this is politics. And of course, predictably, President Ruto used the opportunity to sell his affordable housing agenda. Now, I don't know about you, but the way I was brought up, that is in bad taste. People have been hit by a tragedy. 10K each, 10,000 Kenya shillings, are ready. The way I have been raised is that when you come to help people, you don't come with promises. You come with that 10,000, and you come with anything else that you may have promised them in a speech, tangible. Yeah, it's very hard to sell hope. Tomorrow will be better. It is very hard to sell that one. To suffering Kenyans, extremely difficult. Anyway, on to Mount Kenya Manenos. Now the sentiments of the people of Mount Kenya, that he is praying, and he has been praying, that Raila does not get the African Union job. And it is not because he does not wish Raila well. No, it is what Kabogo said. And it became very clear very quickly that because they were convinced Raila Odinga had a very good chance of winning the presidency. So they came up that Raila sticks around to fight for them. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you have noticed that UDA politically, the truth is, if elections were held today, you can be sure that our brothers and sisters in the Mount Kenya region, the intelligence of Mount Kenya voters, yes, they have made mistakes, vote for Ruto in 2022. Yeah, please get that right. The real voting results from the Mount Kenya region, especially from Central Kenya and the House of Mubi, is that there was a low turnout and Raila Odinga won in that region. That is the truth. I know many of you will not believe. You know, many of us are not aware that our brothers and sisters in the Mount Kenya region have got a very strong DNA for survival. Yeah, because many people have frustrated them through history. The colonial government even attempted to wipe out most of them. They failed. Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi attempted the same. They survived. They will also survive this one. And those who don't like them, I'm not one of them, those who don't like them, early on during my political lectures, my political lecturer insisted on focusing on the March 1957 LegCo elections to elect the very first African leaders. And it was boring. And of course I pretended that I was interested. I wasn't. I was bored until we came to the results of Nairobi. And I looked at those election results and I could not believe my eye. Well, from which tribe? He said Kikuyu. How possible then that the two leading candidates, the one who won the election and the runner-up, are both from the Luo community? How is that possible? I just couldn't understand. And how come the Kikuyu candidate, the candidate from the House of Mumbi, performed so poorly? Well, what my political lecturer was trying to tell me, using Kizungu Mingi, you see, Tom Mboya had done a lot of tangible things for the voters in Nairobi. And very courageous Agwins Kodek specialized in representing in court Mau Mau suspects. And a vast majority of those Mau Mau suspects were from which community? House of Mumbi. And Mboya was a very good orator. He was gifted. Bottom line, whatever you think about Mount Kenya voters, they are intelligent. They have very serious survival DNAs in them. And in 1957, they realized they were not going to survive if the colonial government continued in Kenya for a long period of time. In 2022, it is very clear they are not going to survive in the hands of William Samoei Ruto. Kumedhuka ile mbaya on the ground. And they'd also be confused and puzzled. Yeah, those who don't know what has happened in the past. Like what happened in 1957. Nairobi elections, where two Luos were in the lead. Tena by a lot of votes. History, my friends, always repeats itself. Now, the other thing Kenyans are talking a lot about was the Miguna interview on the Ogba Obina show. Obina is a comedian. And at first, I did not agree. But when I sat down and thought a little more about it, I realized that the current political environment, like in 1957. Now, Miguna also spoke at length, Miguna style. The man whose second name is exactly the same as his first name. Now, my previous offer ended. Yeah, unfortunately. And there are very many people who cried out to me. Because the truth is, time unique opportunity to those who missed my special report on the General Ogolla Manenos, titled General Ogolla Mystery Solved. I have an opportunity for only strictly five people, to get hold of this video only. It's not like the previous offer, where you'd also get the other previous people. Now have an opportunity to get it for only Kenya shillings 19.99. You can see the report is very revealing. It has got a lot of critical information, although highly sensitive. And so please take action quickly.